Opportunities don't just show up. They show up for those who are already ready. You ever felt like life gave someone else the chance you were waiting for? It's not because they were better. It's because they were prepared. And that's the truth most people ignore. This video isn't about luck. It's about what actually works. In today's world, you don't get time to catch up. The opportunity won't wait. And if you're not ready when it shows up, it moves on. That's how life works. Now, in this video, you're going to learn how to live in a way where big chances don't feel shocking, they feel normal. You'll learn how to build yourself daily. So, when the moment comes, you're not chasing it. You're already standing in front of it. Because opportunities favor the prepared. And now it's your turn to become one of them. Chapter 1. Prepare now so opportunities do not pass. Opportunities favor the prepared because life does not slow down to check if you are ready. Life moves forward and chances move with it. Some people notice those chances and step into them with confidence while others watch them pass and wonder what just happened. The difference is not talent or luck or background. The difference is preparation. I have spent a lifetime studying success and failure. And I can tell you this with certainty. Preparation is what turns possibility into reality. Most people wait. They wait for the right time. They wait to feel confident. They wait until they know more. They wait until someone notices them. Waiting feels safe. Waiting feels comfortable, but waiting is also expensive. Every day you wait, you are paying with lost growth, lost strength, and lost readiness. Opportunity does not wait for permission. It shows up when it shows up. And when it arrives, it asks one simple question. Are you ready? Preparation is not dramatic. It is quiet. It happens early in the morning and late at night. It happens when nobody is watching. It happens when there is no applause. It happens when you choose to read instead of scroll. When you choose to practice instead of relax. When you choose to improve instead of complain. Preparation is built in ordinary days. That is where the magic happens. Many people say they want a better life. They want more income, more respect, more freedom, more meaning. But wanting is not enough. Desire without preparation leads to disappointment. You may want the job, but if you have not learned the skills, you will not get it. You may want the relationship, but if you have not learned patience and communication, it will fall apart. You may want success, but if you have not learned discipline, it will overwhelm you. Preparation is what makes desire useful. Think about the moments that changed your life. A chance meeting, a sudden offer, a problem that needed solving, a door that opened without warning. Those moments did not send a calendar invite. They arrived unannounced. And in those moments, you either stepped forward or stepped back. You either felt capable or exposed. That feeling came from preparation or the lack of it. Being prepared is not about being perfect. It is about being ready enough to act. It is about knowing more than yesterday. It is about being stronger than last year. It is about having habits that support growth even when motivation is low. Preparation gives you options. It gives you confidence that comes from effort, not ego. People often misunderstand confidence. They think confidence comes from praise or recognition. Real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. It comes from doing the work even when you do not feel like it. When opportunity shows up, confidence whispers, "I have been working on this." Fear says, "I hope they do not notice I am not ready." Preparation decides which voice speaks louder. Daily preparation is simple but not easy. It means taking responsibility for your own growth. It means reading books that challenge you. It means listening to ideas that stretch your thinking. It means practicing skills that feel uncomfortable. It means taking care of your health so your energy supports your goals. It means managing your time so your days reflect your priorities. These actions may not feel urgent today, but they become critical tomorrow. I have met many people who said if I get the chance I will be ready. That is backward thinking. You do not get ready after the chance arrives. You get ready before it arrives. Preparation comes first. Opportunity comes second. Life rewards those who prepare in advance, not those who promise to prepare later. There is a quiet pride that comes from being prepared. It is not loud or arrogant. It is steady. You walk into situations differently. You listen better. You speak with clarity. You make decisions with calm. That presence is felt by others. Opportunities are often given to those who seem ready to handle responsibility. Preparation shows in your posture, your words, and your actions. Some people think preparation means doing more than everyone else. It really means doing the right things consistently. Small improvements done daily create a strong foundation. Reading 10 pages a day does not feel impressive until years later when your thinking has changed. Saving a small amount of money does not feel powerful until a problem arises and you are calm instead of panicked. Practicing a skill daily does not feel urgent until you are asked to perform and you do it with ease. Preparation also builds resilience. Life is not gentle. Problems will come. Pressure will come. Responsibility will come. When you are prepared, you do not fall apart. You adjust. You respond. You grow. Prepared people do not avoid challenges. They are able to face them without losing direction. Many people miss opportunities because they underestimate them. They think the chance is too small to matter. Preparation teaches you to respect small chances. A conversation can change your future. A book can shift your thinking. A skill learned today can open a door years later. Prepared people treat small moments seriously because they understand where progress begins. Preparation is a personal choice. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can force it on you. You decide what you read, what you practice, what you learn, what you improve. Every day you are either preparing or postponing. There is no neutral ground. Even rest should be intentional. So it restores your strength instead of draining your ambition. When you prepare now, you reduce regret later. Regret is painful because it carries the weight of what could have been. Preparation replaces regret with peace. Even if things do not work out, you can say, I was ready. I did my part. That kind of peace is priceless. Opportunities favor the prepared because preparation signals respect for life. It says, I value my future enough to work on it today. It says I take responsibility for my growth. It says I understand that success is built long before it is visible. Life responds to that attitude. The greatest tragedy is not failure. The greatest tragedy is being capable of more but never preparing to become more. Potential unused becomes frustration. Preparation turns potential into progress. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Prepare anyway. Do not wait for clarity. Clarity often comes after action. Prepare anyway. Do not wait for confidence. Confidence is the result of preparation. Prepare anyway. Decide today to take preparation seriously. Choose one area of your life and begin. Improve your skills. Improve your health. Improve your thinking. Improve your habits. Do it quietly. Do it consistently. Do it without needing approval. One day life will test you. And when it does, you will be grateful for every small effort you made. Opportunities will come. They always do. The question is not if. The question is when. And when they arrive, may you be ready, calm, capable, and willing to step forward. Prepare now, so opportunities do not pass. Chapter 2. Get ready before life gives chances. Life has a habit of moving faster than our plans. It does not announce what it is about to do. It does not ask if this is a good time. One day things feel normal and the next day responsibility shows up. A new role, a new problem, a new chance, a new demand. In those moments, life is not testing your wishes. It is testing your readiness. That is why getting ready before life gives chances is not optional. If you want progress, it is essential. Most people prepare after something happens. After the job interview goes poorly, they decide to improve. After money problems appear, they decide to learn about finances. After their health declines, they decide to take care of themselves. That is a hard way to live. Reaction is always more stressful than preparation. Getting ready early removes panic from the process. It replaces urgency with calm thinking. Life rewards those who think ahead, not in dramatic ways, but in steady results. When you prepare early, you walk differently into situations. You are not rushed. You are not desperate. You are not guessing. You have already done the work. That preparation may not be visible to others, but it is very real to you. Getting ready is about assuming life will ask more of you. It always does. More skill, more patience, more leadership, more responsibility. If you live as if today is the highest demand you will ever face, then tomorrow will overwhelm you. If you live as if tomorrow will require more than you naturally prepare today. Preparation starts with honesty. Honest thinking says I can improve. Honest thinking says I am not finished. Honest thinking says if life asked more of me right now I would struggle. That awareness is not weakness. It is wisdom. Awareness gives you direction. It tells you where to grow. Getting ready does not mean filling your life with pressure. It means filling your life with purpose. Purposeful reading, purposeful learning, purposeful habits, purposeful use of time. When your days have purpose, your future gains strength. Life gives chances quickly and removes them just as quickly. A chance is often a brief window. It might be a conversation, a moment to speak, a decision that needs to be made, a problem that needs solving. Those moments do not wait for confidence to arrive. Confidence arrives when preparation has already been done. People often say they were not ready. That sentence carries regret. It carries missed growth. It carries delay. You reduce the chances of saying those words by preparing early. You do not need to know exactly what will happen. You only need to know that something will happen and it will require more than yesterday required. Getting ready also builds self-respect. When you work on yourself daily, you begin to trust yourself. Trust comes from action. When you know you study regularly, you trust your thinking. When you know you practice discipline, you trust your follow-through. When you know you care for your health, you trust your energy. That trust becomes your anchor. When life becomes demanding, life respects preparation because preparation signals maturity. It shows that you understand cause and effect. It shows that you are not waiting to be saved. It shows that you value your future. People who are prepared are often chosen not because they are perfect, but because they are dependable. Preparation is not loud. It is private. It happens when you choose to learn instead of being entertained. It happens when you manage your money carefully even when others are careless. It happens when you practice listening instead of reacting. These choices shape your ability to handle what is coming. Many chances in life are given to those who appear ready. Appearance here is not about image. It is about behavior. Calm behavior, clear communication, steady decisions. These are signs of preparation. When pressure arrives, prepared people slow down mentally instead of speeding up emotionally. Getting ready early reduces fear. Fear often comes from uncertainty. When you have prepared, you have fewer unknowns. You may not control the outcome, but you control your effort. That control brings peace. Peace allows better decisions. Life gives chances without explanation. Sometimes they come wrapped in problems. Sometimes they come disguised as extra work. Sometimes they look inconvenient. Prepared people see these moments differently. They see them as opportunities to apply what they have been practicing. Preparation also changes how you view time. You stop wasting it. You stop saying later for important things. You realize time is either used for growth or spent on distraction. Getting ready early makes you protective of your time because you know what is at stake. There is also a quiet confidence that comes from preparation. Not confidence that boasts but confidence that stands firm. When life pushes you do not collapse. You adjust your stance. You stay present. You stay engaged. That presence attracts more responsibility and with it more opportunity. Life often gives chances to those who have been preparing in areas nobody noticed. The skill learned quietly, the habit built slowly, the mindset shaped over years. When the chance arrives, people think it happened suddenly. It did not. It was earned privately. Getting ready also prepares you for disappointment. Not every chance works out. Not every effort pays off immediately. Prepared people recover faster. They learn. They refine. They continue. They do not quit because they understand preparation is a lifelong practice, not a one-time event. Preparation is not about fear of the future. It is about respect for the future. It says, I care enough about what is coming to do something today. That attitude creates momentum. Momentum makes life feel less heavy. If you want a stronger life, you must become stronger than life demands today. If you want more responsibility, you must become more responsible now. If you want freedom, you must practice discipline early. Life responds to readiness. Do not wait for a signal. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Conditions are rarely perfect. Get ready anyway. Improve your thinking. Improve your habits. Improve your skills. Improve your attitude. These improvements stack quietly until one day they matter greatly. When life gives chances, it moves quickly. You either step forward or step aside. Preparation decides which one you do. Get ready before life gives chances and you will find yourself meeting moments with strength instead of surprise. Chapter 3. Build skills before they are required. No one is going to warn you before the world demands something new from you. It won't send a message. It won't give you a heads up. It will just happen fast. And in that moment, whether you succeed or struggle depends on one thing. Whether or not you've already built the skills, not just thought about it, not just hoped for it, but already done the work. That's why the smart ones build skills before they're needed. Because when the time comes, there is no time left to prepare. Think about how most people live. They wait. They wait for life to tell them what they should learn. They wait for someone to give them a role and only then do they try to learn how to do it. They wait until they feel behind and only then do they begin to catch up. But if you're catching up, you're already late. You're already behind the moment that matters. Skills are not emergency buttons you push when something shows up. Skills are muscles you build, so you're already strong when life asks you to lift. The people who rise in life are the ones who are already ready. When the door opens, the job gets posted and their resume is already built. The position opens and they already know how to lead. The problem shows up and they've already trained how to think under pressure. They didn't wait to be told. They trained while it was still quiet. That's what building skills early is about. It's not about chasing certificates or impressing others. It's about respecting your future so much that you prepare for it today. Even when you're tired, even when it's not urgent, even when no one is watching. Because the truth is, the moment something becomes urgent, it's already too late to start building. You have to already have it in you. Most people overestimate how ready they are and they underestimate how much is coming. The world changes fast. New tools, new roles, new expectations. And the only way to keep up is to stay in learning mode even when no one is asking you to. That's the mindset. Stay ready. Don't prepare to prepare. Don't tell yourself you'll start when it makes more sense. Build now so the future doesn't scare you later. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming things will stay the same. They think the job they have now is the job they'll always have. They think the life they're living now is how it'll always be. But things change, people leave, markets shift, technology replaces tasks, and in those moments, only the prepared survive. Only the ones who have kept growing still have doors open. Building skills early also gives you option. When you're skilled, you're not trapped. If your job becomes unstable, you're already qualified to move. If your income needs to grow, you already have something to offer. If someone counts on you, you already know what to do. Options come from preparation, not panic. Think about it this way. If you lost everything tomorrow, What would you still have? What's in your head? What can you do without tools? What you know how to build or fix or lead or solve? That's what really matters, because things can be taken, roles can end, but your skills, no one can steal those. They're yours. They travel with you. They build your worth in every room you enter. People sometimes say they don't have time to learn something new, but they do. They just haven't made it a priority yet. The truth is, you don't find time, you make time. 10 minutes a day adds up. 1 hour a week turns into confidence. Learning is not about locking yourself away. It's about small, steady focus. One article, one podcast, one conversation, one notebook full of what you're learning. That's where it begins. And don't wait for perfect condition. Learning while life is messy is what makes you strong. Learn while you're working, while you're tired, while you're unsure. That's how real growth happens. If you only train when it's easy, you won't be ready when it's hard. Build skills in the middle of real life, and they'll work when real life gets complicated. It's not about learning everything. It's about learning the right things. Learn to communicate clearly. Learn to manage your time. Learn to make decisions without fear. Learn to listen. Learn to lead. These skills never go out of style. And if you learn them now, they'll pay you every day for the rest of your life. Don't wait until life puts pressure on you to figure out what matters. Ask yourself today, if life asked me to lead tomorrow, if life handed me a chance to grow, would I be ready to take it? If someone needed me to step up, would I have the tools? If not, what am I doing about it now? It's easy to think that your future will just unfold on its own. But it does. It's built day by day, hour by hour, by what you choose to learn. The people who grow fast in life are the ones who study without being told. They don't wait for deadlines. They don't wait for pressure. They stay curious. They stay sharp. They stay ahead. It's also important to remember that your value in the world comes from what you can contribute. When you build real skills, you increase your ability to help others. You become useful. You become needed. Whether it's in business, in your family, in your community, when you have skills, people trust you. They rely on you. They look to you when things are uncertain. That kind of trust is not given easily. It's earned through quiet practice. It's built in early mornings, in weekends spent reading, in hours spent figuring things out. It's not glamorous, but it's real. And one day, you'll be glad you did it. Look around at the people who seem calm under pressure, who seem capable no matter what's going on. That's not luck. That's preparation. That's hours of showing up when no one else was watching. That's doing the work no one else wanted to do. That's building skills before they were needed. So start now. Learn something uncomfortable. Practice a skill you've been putting off. Ask better questions. Stretch your mind. Keep a notebook of lessons. Show up with intention. Every time you do, you're building a future version of yourself who's not afraid of what's next. That's the goal, to become someone life can count on. In the end, it's simple. You can wait for life to ask more from you, or you can start preparing to give more now. One leads to stress, the other leads to strength. Choose strength. Build your skills before they are required. That decision might be the one that changes everything. Chapter 4. Prepared daily so luck feels earned. Most people believe luck is something that just happens, like it's a surprise gift from life. But that's not how it works. If you look closely, the people who seem lucky are usually the ones who prepare daily. They train, they study, they grow, and they work on themselves when no one is watching. Then when something finally clicks, the world calls it luck. But to them, it doesn't feel lucky. It feels earned because they were ready for it. That's the difference. Some people wait around hoping for something to happen. Others build themselves up so when it does, they can handle it. Daily preparation turns luck into results. It makes you feel like you deserved the moment instead of just stumbled into it because you didn't wait around for life to change. You built the habits. You sharpened the skills. You shaped your character. And when the door opened, you didn't hesitate. You can't control when an opportunity will come. But you can control who you are when it does. And the truth is, the world doesn't give rewards to people who want them. It gives them to people who are ready. That readiness isn't built overnight. It's built through quiet daily work. A few pages read, a few decisions made with discipline, a few moments of reflection, a few minutes doing the hard thing instead of the easy thing. It's boring sometimes. It's uncomfortable a lot of the time, but it adds up. Think about how good it feels to be ready for something. Not just hoping everything turns out fine, but actually knowing deep down you've done the work. That feeling is peace. That feeling is strength, not arrogance. It's earned confidence. You can walk into situations calm and grounded because you know you've prepared. Daily preparation also removes the need to rush. When you've been putting in the effort over time, you don't panic when the stakes get higher. You've already done the work in private. That gives you control in public. You're not scrambling to figure things out at the last minute. You're not guessing. You're performing. You're executing what you've already practiced. The people who call it luck often haven't seen the behind-the-scenes effort. They don't see the mornings someone got up early to learn. They don't see the nights spent reviewing progress. They don't feel the discomfort of doing what's right when it's not convenient. But you feel it, and when life finally rewards you, you won't be shocked. You'll feel ready because you've already been living like the reward was on the way. Preparation also builds clarity. When you're preparing daily, you start to understand yourself better, what you want, what you need to work on, what really matters. That self-awareness helps you say yes to the right chances and no to the wrong ones. People who aren't prepared say yes to everything, hoping something works. Prepared people say yes with intention because they know what they're aiming for. There's also power in knowing that you don't need permission to get ready. You don't have to wait for someone to notice your potential. You can notice it yourself. You can take it seriously now. You can build every day without applause, without reward, without results yet. Just the knowledge that you're becoming better. And one day that will pay off. You don't need a breakthrough every day. You just need to show up for yourself. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just move 1 inch forward. One skill a little sharper. One habit a little stronger. It may not feel dramatic, but it's making you more capable. That's what luck rewards: capability, not wishful thinking. When you prepare every day, you also learn to trust yourself. You know what kind of person you are. You've seen yourself follow through even when it's tough. That trust matters when things get intense. It matters when life finally puts something valuable in front of you. You won't sabotage it. You won't doubt yourself. You'll recognize that this is what you've been preparing for. Preparation is also how you build momentum. If you don't feel motivated, that's okay. Do something anyway. Take one step. Read one thing. Practice one detail. That action builds energy, and that energy keeps you moving. You don't wait to feel motivated. You act your way into motivation by staying consistent. People who rely only on motivation fall off quickly. People who rely on preparation grow slowly but powerfully. They don't stop when they're tired. They pause. Then they get back to it. They don't give up after a bad day. They take the lesson and move forward. This mindset makes you unbeatable in the long run because you stop depending on circumstances and start depending on your own habits. Daily preparation also helps you respond better to challenges. When something unexpected happens, you're not starting from zero. You've already built a foundation. You've been sharpening your problem solving. You've been learning how to handle pressure. That doesn't make life easy, but it makes you strong. Sometimes people say they got lucky because someone gave them a chance. But those chances often come because of preparation. A prepared person is easier to trust, easier to promote, easier to bet on. So people offer them more. And to outsiders it looks like luck. But inside, the person knows they earned that trust by showing up consistently when it mattered. Success doesn't always come quickly. But preparation gives you something while you wait. It gives you structure. It gives you meaning. It gives you direction. You stop asking when something will happen and start asking how well you're preparing for it when it does. That shift in thinking changes everything. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real with yourself. What do you need to work on? What habits need tightening? What skills need building? What distractions need cutting? And then start today quietly, consistently. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're just becoming the kind of person who's ready when it counts. One day, something good will happen. A door will open. A conversation will turn serious. A person will believe in you. And in that moment, you'll look back and know this didn't happen by accident. This happened because I prepared for it. This happened because I kept showing up. That's the kind of luck that feels good because it's not luck. It's responsibility. It's ownership. It's growth. So no matter what stage you're at, start preparing. Don't wait for a reason. Make preparation your way of life. That's how you stay ready. That's how you earn your wins. That's how luck becomes something you don't chase. It becomes something you're prepared to catch. Every single day you prepare is a day you move closer to the life you're meant to live. And when it comes, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready. Chapter 5. Improve yourself before opportunity knocks. Improving yourself before opportunity knocks is one of the smartest and most honest decisions you'll ever make. Because opportunity doesn't wait for you to get ready. It doesn't slow down to match your pace. It doesn't check in to see if you've been practicing or thinking about it. It shows up when it wants to. And when it does, you only have two options. Be the person who's ready or be the person who missed it. Improvement isn't about showing off. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about knowing you are becoming someone your future can depend on. When you work on yourself today, you're making a deposit into your future. Not because anything is promised, but because anything is possible. And when something does come along, you want to meet it with skill, with confidence, with experience, not excuses. Most people live in reaction mode. They wait for life to push them. They wait for a wake-up call. They wait until they're desperate. But the problem with waiting is that the best opportunities don't hang around. They go to the ones who've been doing the quiet work, not the loud talkers, not the excuse makers, the ones who've been improving when no one was asking them to. That's how you earn trust. That's how you build a life that doesn't collapse under pressure. When you choose to improve yourself early, you separate from the average. Not because you think you're special, but because you care enough about your path to take it seriously. You understand that nothing great is handed out to people who sit still. It's given to those who are building something when no one is watching. Every time you improve, even just a little, you're increasing your ability to handle more, to lead more, to contribute more. You don't need a big plan to start. You don't need a perfect system. You just need to stop waiting. Take a good look at where you are and ask yourself one question. If something big came my way tomorrow, would I be ready? Would I be able to step up without hesitation? Would I have the skills, the habits, the mindset to carry it forward? If the answer is no, that's your signal not to panic but to begin. Improving yourself doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means becoming the strongest version of who you already are. Sharper thinking, better control of your time, more emotional awareness, stronger habits, learning how to lead, learning how to listen, learning how to handle discomfort. These aren't things that show up on paper, but they change how you carry yourself. And how you carry yourself is what life responds to. When you start growing early, something else happens, too. You stop fearing the future. You don't need everything to go your way. You don't need someone to give you a break. You know that every day you improve, you're creating your own chances. That kind of power doesn't come from luck. It comes from effort, from intention, from showing up even when it would be easier to coast. The people who get ahead in life usually don't talk about it. They just keep getting better. They wake up with purpose. They treat their time with respect. They read. They reflect. They surround themselves with people who are also growing. They don't waste energy on complaining. They use that energy to move forward. And when something new shows up, a role, a project, a relationship, a challenge, they're ready. Not because they knew it was coming, but because they prepared like something was coming. That's the mindset. Prepare like something important is on its way. Even if you don't know when, even if no one believes in it yet, even if there's no reward right now, do it anyway. Because the day you need those skills will come. And when it does, you won't have time to go back and start from scratch. You'll need to rely on what you've already built. And if you've built nothing, you'll have nothing to stand on. But if you've been improving steadily, you'll meet the moment with calm and strength. That's not ego, that's earned. Improving yourself early also gives you more choices. When you're prepared, you don't have to say yes to every offer just because it's the only one. You can say no with confidence. You can wait for the right fit because you're not desperate. You're prepared. That gives you leverage, that gives you peace. Too often people think improvement has to be dramatic. But real growth is quiet. It's built in small actions. The book you choose to read, the phone call you choose not to answer, the time you spend learning instead of scrolling. These little decisions shape who you become, and over time they add up in a way that changes everything. You don't need to see progress right away. You just need to know it's happening. That alone should be enough, because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because you want to live a life that doesn't depend on chance. You want to be the kind of person who can be trusted with more. The world is full of talented people who never prepared. They wait. They hesitated. They made excuses. And when something finally did show up, it slipped through their fingers. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they didn't get ready in time. Don't be that person. Respect yourself enough to improve before it's needed. You don't know when the next door will open. But you can decide today how ready you'll be when it does. Will you walk through with confidence, or will you stand there wishing you had done more? This isn't about pressure. It's about purpose. It's about deciding that your growth matters. Not later, not when it's urgent, but now. Because now is when you have time to learn slowly, to grow steadily, to build deeply. That's the real advantage. The earlier you start, the more prepared you become. Not just for one opportunity, but for all of them. The ones you expect, the ones you don't, the ones that come once in a lifetime. And when they do, you won't panic. You'll breathe, you'll step forward, and you'll take that chance with everything you've already built. Improve yourself before opportunity knocks. Not because you know what's coming, but because you want to meet whatever comes with strength, with clarity, and with pride. That's how you change your life. One day at a time, one improvement at a time. And when that door finally opens, you won't wonder if you're ready. You'll know you are. Chapter 6. Stay ready. So, timing works naturally. Timing feels magical when it works in your favor. When the right thing shows up at the right moment, it can feel like the universe lined everything up just for you. But the truth is, timing doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't give you space to catch up. It just happens. And when it does, it rewards the ones who stayed ready, not the ones who started preparing last minute. Staying ready means you don't live in reaction mode. You don't wait for pressure to start moving. You're not scrambling when things change. You're steady. You're focused. You're already in motion before the moment arrives. That's why timing works for some people and works against others. It's not random. It's a reflection of how seriously you've taken your growth. There's nothing worse than watching an opportunity pass by because you weren't prepared for it. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you hadn't done the work in advance. That regret stings. It sticks with you and it teaches you something important. You don't get to control when doors open, but you do control how ready you are when they do. Staying ready is a habit. It's not one massive decision. It's built in the way you live each day. It's choosing to keep your skills sharp. It's managing your mindset. It's treating your time with purpose. You don't have to do everything at once, but you can't afford to do nothing and expect life to go your way. Momentum doesn't come from waiting. It comes from consistent action. Timing works naturally when you live with intention. When you treat your mornings like they matter. When you practice things before they're needed. When you show up prepared even when nobody asked you to. That kind of discipline pays off later in ways you can't always see today. But when the right moment finally arrives, you'll know exactly why you prepared. Some people live in constant rush because they keep trying to fix things at the last minute. They apply for roles they aren't qualified for. They try to fix habits they ignored for years. They suddenly start learning under pressure. And then they wonder why things don't work out. It's because they made timing their enemy. They waited. They delayed. And by the time they moved, the window had already closed. If you stay ready, life becomes less chaotic. You make better choices because you're not driven by panic. You speak more clearly because you've been thinking through your values. You step forward without hesitation because you've already been preparing for what's ahead. It doesn't mean everything goes perfectly. It means you meet the moment with power instead of fear. When people look like they got lucky, they usually didn't. They stayed consistent while others got distracted. They showed up while others drifted. They trained quietly while others waited for motivation. So when things finally aligned, they weren't shocked. They were ready. They didn't need a pep talk. They just did what they've been doing all along. Showing up with intention. Staying ready also builds your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who doesn't fall apart under pressure. You trust yourself more. You stop needing reassurance from others. You know you've done the work. That belief shapes how you walk into rooms. It shapes how people respond to you. Readiness communicates something loud without saying a word. You don't need to prepare for every single scenario. But you can prepare your mind. You can build your habits. You can strengthen your body. You can improve your discipline. That way, no matter what shows up, you have a strong base. You can adapt. You can learn quickly. You can make decisions without overthinking. That's what staying ready really means. You've trained yourself to be flexible and focused when it counts. There's always a gap between the moment something happens and how you respond. If you've stayed ready, that gap is your strength. You don't waste time doubting. You don't freeze. You trust your preparation and you take the step that needs to be taken. That moment defines people. Some fall apart, some rise. The difference is how seriously they've taken their preparation. Most people don't realize how fast things can change. One phone call, one conversation, one unexpected offer, one big problem and suddenly your life is different. You can't afford to meet that change unprepared. If you've kept yourself sharp, you'll be able to handle it. If you've been lazy with your growth, you'll struggle to catch up. Life gives very little time for people who wait too long to take themselves seriously. When you stay ready, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Even small progress makes a huge difference. When it's done daily, one lesson, one better decision, one tough conversation, one disciplined day. These things build up until one day you're in a situation where it all matters and you're not overwhelmed. You're prepared. People often overestimate what they can do later and underestimate what they can do today. Today is where timing begins. Timing is not just about external events. It's about how you've built your habits to respond to them. Some people get lucky and waste. Others get a small chance and turn it into something powerful because they were ready. That readiness didn't happen by accident. It was built on ordinary days. You don't need to know when the next big moment is coming. You just need to know that when it does, you'll be ready. That alone should drive you because you never want to meet your future with regret. You want to meet it with action, with strength, with clear thinking. You want to say, I've been waiting for this and I'm not going to waste it. Don't wait until things go wrong to fix your routine. Don't wait until things get serious to care about how you show up. Don't wait until you're tested to start developing who you are. Start now. Stay ready. Not because you're afraid, but because you respect yourself enough to do the work before it's forced on you. When you live this way, you'll notice something else. Timing will start to work with you. Things will feel smoother. People will trust you more. You'll be chosen for more. You'll step into more. It won't be magic. It will be the result of preparation, meeting, opportunity. You won't be chasing timing. You'll be aligned with it. It's not easy to stay ready when nothing big is happening. But that's the test. That's what separates the committed from the casual. Anyone can move when things are urgent. It takes strength to move when no one's watching. That strength is what shapes you into someone who's ready for more than just today. Stay ready so timing doesn't control your life. You control how you meet it. Stay ready so the next time something great comes along, you won't hesitate. You'll be calm. You'll be clear. You'll be the person that moment requires because you already became them quietly daily without waiting for permission. That's how timing begins to work naturally when you stop waiting for it and start preparing for it instead. Chapter 7. Prepare consistently so chances feel familiar. There's something powerful about doing something so many times that it no longer surprises you. That's what consistent preparation gives you. It makes moments feel familiar. It removes panic from opportunity. It turns big chances into natural steps instead of overwhelming events. Most people get thrown off when something great shows up. They get nervous. They freeze. They start doubting themselves. Not because they aren't capable, but because they haven't seen this kind of moment before. They didn't practice for it. They didn't rehearse it in private. So now that it's real, it feels too big. That's why you prepare consistently. So when something important arrives, it feels like something you've already done 100 times. Consistency is what transforms effort into identity. When you prepare every day, even in small ways, you start to believe that this is who you are. Not someone hoping for a break, but someone who trains for one. Not someone praying for success, but someone becoming worthy of it. And the more often you show up, the more normal it becomes. Discipline stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like home. The goal is to meet opportunity with calm, not fake calm. Real calm. The kind that comes from doing the work already, from repeating the hard things until they feel simple, from learning the uncomfortable lessons early. That kind of peace only shows up when you've done something often enough that the surprise is gone and the focus remains. People often wait for motivation before they prepare. But motivation is unstable. It fades. Some days it never shows up at all. That's why consistency is stronger than motivation. Consistency says even when I don't feel like it, I still show up. That mindset changes everything. It teaches your mind and body to be ready without needing permission. And that kind of readiness is what helps you see chances clearly when others hesitate. The truth is, big moments don't usually feel big when you're ready for them. They feel familiar, like something you've rehearsed already because you have in your quiet hours, in the small choices, in the daily reps. That's what preparation does. It shrinks fear and expands confidence, not through ego but through repetition. Think of the people who make things look easy. It's not because it is easy, it's because they've done it so many times before. What you're seeing is the result of consistency, not luck. They've built muscle memory through practice. So when the spotlight hits, they don't change their rhythm. They just keep doing what they've always done. That's the advantage of preparing daily. You stop performing and start operating. It's easy to underestimate small actions, but those small actions compound. Reading one chapter, taking notes after a meeting, practicing your delivery, reviewing your own behavior. These don't seem life-changing in the moment, but they build something in you. They give you reference point. They give you experience, even if it's simulated. So when the real thing shows up, you don't feel like a beginner. Even if it's your first time, you want opportunity to feel normal, not boring, just familiar enough that it doesn't rattle you. Because when you're rattled, you hesitate, you shrink. You talk yourself out of the moment. But when you've trained for it, your system stays calm. Your breathing stays steady. Your voice doesn't shake. Your mind doesn't spiral because you've been here before, even if only in preparation. People who don't prepare consistently tend to overreact to pressure. They go from zero to panic because they haven't built a stable middle. That middle space, that calm zone is built through practice, through repetition, through doing the thing before it's required. So when the intensity rises, your system already knows what to do. You don't fall apart. You rise up without chaos. Consistent preparation also helps you recognize opportunity. You'd be surprised how many people miss good chances because they don't look like what they expected. They're so used to thinking opportunity only comes in one shape. They ignore the real thing when it shows up differently. But when you've been preparing regularly, you're more alert. You can see what others miss. You can sense potential even when it's subtle. That kind of awareness gives you an edge. Familiarity creates clarity. The more often you practice a behavior, the more natural your response becomes. So instead of wasting energy wondering if you're good enough or ready enough, you use that energy to perform, to think clearly, to adjust when needed. Confidence becomes your default, not because you fake it, but because you've lived it. There's also something powerful about the way preparation shapes your environment. When you show up consistently, the people around you start to trust you more. They start to see you as someone who's reliable, someone who's serious. That trust opens more doors. It gives you access to better conversations, better projects, better circles. And when those things happen, they don't feel like miracles. They feel like the next step because you've done the groundwork. This is also where your self-respect grows, not from results but from the fact that you kept your promise to yourself. You said you'd show up and you did. You said you'd improve and you followed through. That builds something deep inside you, something strong. That's where quiet confidence is born. Not from what others say, but from what you know you've done. The people who rise fastest are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who stayed consistent when no one else did. The ones who treated their goals like responsibilities, not just dreams. The ones who practiced even when it was boring, who reviewed their own effort instead of blaming someone else. That kind of mindset is rare. And because it's rare, it stands out. When you live this way, chances stop feeling intimidating. You stop seeing them as tests. You start seeing them as platforms. Not because you're entitled to them, but because you've prepared for them. You've done the work. You've earned the moment. And that feeling, that sense of earned readiness is one of the most powerful things you can carry into any situation. Consistency is what allows you to meet opportunity with focus instead of fear. It's what lets you say, "I've done this before," even if you haven't done it exactly this way, because deep down you've already trained for the moment. That training creates a steady hand, a clear mind, and a strong presence. So don't wait for the big break to start preparing. Prepare so the big break feels like the next step, not the first one. Build your readiness like it matters, because it does. And when that door opens, you won't freeze. You won't fumble. You'll walk through it like you belong there because you do. You've been preparing for this, and now the moment finally caught up to you. Chapter 8. Work daily. So, opportunities trust you. Opportunities don't just look for people who hope. They look for people who work. Not once in a while. Not only when it's exciting, but daily. Quietly, steadily, when no one's watching and no one's asking. Daily work builds something stronger than talent. It builds trust. Not just self-trust, but the kind of reliability that opportunities recognize when you show up every day. Opportunity doesn't have to guess whether you're serious. It already knows. There's a certain rhythm that builds when you work consistently. You're not chasing a finish line. You're building endurance. You're becoming the kind of person who is ready without forcing it. That kind of preparation doesn't look glamorous from the outside, but it changes everything. Because the world isn't just watching your moments of success. It's watching how you move in silence. It's watching how you handle days that are ordinary. It's watching how you treat the work when it's not exciting. When you work every day, you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop needing conditions to be just right. You learn to work with what you have. You learn to start where you are. That kind of consistency teaches you discipline. And discipline is what makes you trustworthy. Opportunities are not just moments. They are responsibilities. And no responsibility stays with someone who can't be trusted to follow through. If you want better chances in life, become better in how you show up. Don't just do the work when it's fun. Do it when it's boring. Do it when you're tired. Do it when it feels like no one cares. That's how you build strength. That's how you build reliability. And reliability is what draws more to you. Think about someone you would hire, trust, or follow. It's not just someone with potential. It's someone who proves their effort every day. The same goes for you. You can't ask life for more until you've proven you can handle what's already in front of you. And that proof doesn't come through one good week. It comes through showing up again and again without making excuses. People who work daily aren't perfect. They have off days. They get discouraged, but they don't disappear. They keep going. They keep learning. They adjust, but they don't quit. That steadiness creates progress you can measure. Over time, your daily efforts start to compound. Skills sharpen. Mindsets change. Habits strengthen. All of that builds a version of you that can handle more. Working daily also teaches you how to manage doubt. You stop letting emotions decide your level of effort. You work anyway, and in doing so, you start to trust yourself more. You know you'll show up regardless of how you feel. That trust makes it easier to take on more because you're no longer wondering if you can do it. You've already proven that you can keep going when it's hard. This is how real growth happens. Not through massive leaps, but through steady step. When you commit to doing something every day, you remove the option of waiting. You replace hesitation with movement. That movement doesn't have to be fast. It just needs to be real. Even slow progress adds up when it's consistent. And that consistency gives you momentum that you can carry into anything. You also stop needing validation because your progress becomes your proof. You don't need anyone to cheer you on. You don't need someone to push you. You've trained yourself to be dependable. And that kind of dependability makes you more attractive to the people, places, and chances you want in your life. Working daily builds a kind of foundation that can hold weight because the bigger the opportunity, the heavier the responsibility. If your habits are weak, the weight will break you. But if your habits are strong, the weight will build you. That's what daily effort is for. To make sure that when more is asked of you, you don't collapse. You carry it. It also removes the gap between who you are and who you say you want to be. Every time you do the work, you become more aligned with the version of you that has the life you want. You're no longer wishing, you're becoming. And that shift in identity makes it easier to act, to think clearly, and to take chances when they appear. Sometimes people think opportunity is all about timing. But even perfect timing can't help someone who's unprepared. You have to earn the right to be trusted with a big moment. And the only way to earn that is by how you behave on the days when no opportunity is inside. When it's just you and your effort, no spotlight, no audience, just the quiet discipline of showing up. Over time, the people around you start to notice. Not because you're loud, but because your work speaks for itself. You become the person they think of when something important comes up. You become the one they can count on. That kind of reputation isn't built in a single day. It's built in dozens of unnoticed ones. Working daily also prepares your mind. You stop being reactive. You learn to create structure. You start your day with clarity instead of confusion. You take ownership of your energy, your focus, your actions. You don't waste hours waiting for direction. You make your own. That level of control makes you valuable, and people want to work with, invest in, and support those who are clear and consistent. The longer you stay consistent, the less you fear setbacks. You know they're just part of the process. You've trained your mind to stay steady even when things don't go your way. That mental strength makes you more reliable in stressful situations. And that reliability creates more chances because people aren't just looking for talent. They're looking for calm, for dependability, for follow-through. When you work every day, you also learn what matters. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. You get better at saying no. You protect your energy. You simplify your choices. This clarity creates more space for real growth. You don't get pulled into distractions. You stay connected to what actually helps you improve. Eventually, the results start to speak. Not always in big ways at first. Maybe it's the way you solve problems faster. Maybe it's the way your words carry more weight. Maybe it's the fact that people start asking for your input. All of that comes from daily effort. And once it starts, it keeps building. So if you want more out of life, don't just say it. Prove it. Prove it through your habit, through your work ethic, through your focus. Opportunities will start to show up, not because you chased them, but because you earned their trust. And when they do, you won't feel nervous. You'll feel ready because you didn't wait for them to believe in you. You believed in yourself first. You did the work long before the reward. That's how you make progress that lasts. That's how you rise without rushing. You earn the moment. You build the trust. You become someone opportunity doesn't ignore. Not because you got lucky, but because you work daily and your life started to reflect it. Chapter 9. Prepare your life for sudden openings. Life doesn't always knock politely before entering. Sometimes it throws open a door you didn't expect. A message, a phone call, a conversation, a shift in circumstances. In seconds, everything changes. And in those moments, there's no time to scramble. There's no time to search for confidence, no time to build habits, no time to wish you had started earlier. The moment is already here. It's either yours or it passes. That's why you prepare your life now. Not for what's predictable, but for what's sudden. Sudden openings don't wait for you to be in the right mood. They don't check your calendar. They don't care if you feel ready. They appear and they move fast. And if you're not organized, focused, and mentally clear, you'll either miss them or mishandle them. But if you've been living with preparation in mind, those same moments can become turning points instead of missed chances. Preparation isn't just about learning skills. It's about shaping your entire environment so it can hold opportunity without dropping it. That means getting your finances in order. That means keeping your health in check. That means developing emotional control so you don't fall apart under pressure. It means knowing what you want. So when something good shows up, you don't freeze in uncertainty. You move with purpose. You don't want to meet your moment with chaos. You want to meet it with structure. Because when life opens a door, it rarely keeps it open for long. There's usually a small window where everything is aligned. The ones who step through are the ones who already adjusted their life to be ready. That's why waiting to get ready is a trap. People say, "I'll prepare when something changes," but by then it's too late. The opportunity has already picked someone else. Not necessarily someone more talented, just someone more prepared. You don't win the moment when it arrives. You win it in the weeks, months, and years before it ever showed up. You also have to understand that sudden openings aren't always shiny. Sometimes they come dressed as problems, as inconvenience, as unexpected responsibility. And if you're not prepared mentally, you'll mistake those moments for burdens instead of blessing. You'll walk away from something you were meant to grow through just because it didn't look like what you were expecting. Living in preparation also gives you peace. You stop feeling like you're behind. You stop fearing what might come next. You start walking through life with a sense of control. Not because you control the future, but because you control your effort. You know that no matter what shows up, you've done the work to be ready. That removes panic. That brings focus. People think preparation is about knowing exactly what's coming. It's not. It's about being ready for whatever comes. That's a big difference. You may not know the form it will take, but you've built the strength to adjust. You've practiced clarity. You've built momentum. That's what makes you steady. That's what makes you dangerous in the best way. Think about it. How many people pray for a better life, but then live in a way that repels it? They say they want growth, but they avoid responsibility. They say they want opportunities, but they never organize their time. They say they want more income, but they never invest in new skills. What they want and what they're prepared for are not the same. And life sees that. Life responds to what you're ready for, not what you wish for. So, you have to ask yourself honestly, if something great arrived tomorrow, would my life be able to hold it? Could I manage the pressure? Could I keep up with the pace? Could I protect it instead of losing it? And if the answer is no, then today's the time to prepare. Not later, not next year, but right now. Start with the small areas. How are you managing your time? Are you learning things that matter? Are you physically and mentally sharp? Are you clear on your values and direction? Do you have routines that keep you strong even when motivation is gone? These are not glamorous questions, but they are necessary because when the spotlight finally turns in your direction, it's too late to start scrambling for answers. You either step up with clarity or you step back with regret. Sudden openings are not limited to careers or business. They happen in relationships, in leadership, in health, in personal growth. You get a second chance with someone you care about. You get asked to lead when someone steps down. You face a moment where your decisions carry heavy consequences. Those are the tests that reveal whether you've been building or coasting. Preparation also means building a support system. Who's around you when life shifts suddenly? Are they people who hold you accountable? Are they people who stretch your thinking? Or are they distractions? The people you surround yourself with influence how fast and how well you respond to sudden changes. Strong support adds to your preparation. Weak support drains it. And don't confuse busyness with readiness. Just because your schedule is full doesn't mean you're prepared. You can be busy and still be lost. You can be active and still be unaligned. Real preparation brings focus. It brings order to your thinking. It brings discipline to your habits. And it brings strength to your responses. That's what you need when life opens a door without warning. If you've ever missed a moment and felt that ache, that feeling of I wasn't ready, you already know how important this is. That feeling doesn't need to become your pattern. You can change your direction today. You can become someone who's always improving, always focused, always one step ahead of the next shift. That's not anxiety. That's leadership. The best version of you doesn't show up by accident. It's shaped by the way you live every day, by what you read, by what you practice, by how you recover from failure, by how you handle boredom. These choices don't just prepare you, they shape you. And one day when the door opens, you won't be searching for strength. You'll already have it. You won't need to perform. You'll just need to show up because the version of you that's been living in preparation will feel right at home in that moment. Not because it's easy, but because you're ready. You've created a life that can carry it. So prepare your life now. Not for what's certain, but for what's possible. Make your days count. Build the mindset. Build the habits. Build the strength. Because when the sudden opening comes, and it will, you won't be hoping to rise to the occasion. You'll already be standing tall, ready, steady, and clear. And that's when life gives you more than a moment. It gives you momentum. Chapter 10. Get ready so opportunity feels normal. Getting ready isn't about the excitement of one big break. It's about building your life in a way that opportunity doesn't feel like a surprise. It feels normal. It feels earned. It feels expected. Not because you're entitled to anything, but because you've already been living like someone who belongs there. That's what true preparation does. It doesn't just change how you perform. It changes how you carry yourself. It shifts your mindset from hoping to knowing. Not knowing what's coming, but knowing who you are when it comes. When you've done the work day after day, opportunity stops feeling like a mountain to climb. It becomes another step forward. You stop approaching new situations with fear and self-doubt. And you start moving with calm and clarity that doesn't come from luck or personality. It comes from habits, from daily choices, from shaping yourself into someone who doesn't flinch when life opens a door because you've already opened that door mentally, emotionally, and practically. You don't want to meet opportunity with chaos in your mind. You want to meet it with peace. The kind of peace that says, "This is what I've trained for." That doesn't mean you know every answer. It means you trust your process. It means your effort has built a kind of stability that keeps you from being shaken when things speed up. For most people, opportunity brings anxiety. Not because it's too big, but because they've stayed too small for too long. They haven't stretched themselves. They haven't faced their weaknesses. They haven't practiced responsibility when it was optional. So when responsibility becomes real, they feel like they're drowning. That's not the moment to start growing. That's the moment to apply everything you've already practiced. The goal is to normalize high moments, not by treating them casually, but by preparing so well that they don't feel out of reach. When something important comes along, you shouldn't be surprised it found you. You should recognize it as the natural next step of the person you've become. That's not ego. That's preparation in action. You've been showing up. You've been doing the inner work. You've been staying consistent when it wasn't convenient. Now, the outside world is starting to reflect what's already been building inside you. Getting ready means improving before someone tells you to. It means staying curious. It means developing your mindset and sharpening your actions before life puts you in the spotlight. The more you do this, the more those so-called big moments feel like the right size. Not overwhelming, not underwhelming, just right, because you've grown into them. You also stop freezing when you're recognized. You're not surprised someone saw your effort. You're not overwhelmed by praise or pressure. You're steady because your validation doesn't come from the opportunity. It comes from the preparation you've done privately. That's what gives you real confidence, not loud confidence. Quiet, grounded confidence that doesn't need to be announced. Most people want the moment to feel amazing. But the truth is, it's more useful when it feels normal because that means you're operating from a place of readiness. You're not running on adrenaline. You're thinking clearly. You're responding with skill. You're holding your ground. That kind of presence is what separates those who get a chance from those who keep a chance. Preparation also saves you from self-sabotage. It's one thing to get an opportunity. It's another to handle it well, to keep it, to grow from it. If you haven't done the personal work, you'll find a way to lose what you were given. That's why getting ready in advance matters so much. You don't just need to be chosen. You need to be able to deliver once you are. You don't build that ability overnight. You build it in repetition, in reflection, in discipline, in showing up when you don't feel like it. You build it by choosing growth over comfort, clarity over distraction, and responsibility over shortcut. And over time, you start becoming someone who naturally draws better opportunities, not because you chase them, but because you're aligned with them. When you carry that kind of energy, people trust you. They know you're not going to flake under pressure. They see the preparation in your decisions, in your focus, in your work. And that trust is what brings more your way. People want to invest in someone who's clearly invested in themselves. You also start expecting progress, not in a way that's arrogant, but in a way that's rooted in your effort. You've been moving forward every day. You've been showing up for your future. So, it makes sense that your future would start showing up for you. Again, not in some magical way, but in a logical, earned way. That sense of expectation fuels consistency. It keeps you from getting discouraged because you're not relying on hope. You're relying on preparation. That's what maturity looks like. Moving from emotion-driven action to intention-driven habits. You stop chasing quick results. You start building systems that support long-term growth. That kind of life makes you reliable. And reliability is what turns rare chances into regular ones. Getting ready also means simplifying. You clear the noise. You let go of distractions that don't support your growth. You organize your mind, your time, your space. Because when you live with clarity, you can move fast without being frantic. You can shift gears without losing your grip. And when life moves fast, that clarity is your anchor. You stop feeling like an outsider in important rooms because you've already been preparing like you belong there. You've studied. You've practiced. You've pushed through doubt. So when the moment arrives, you're not hoping you'll figure it out. You've already done that work. Now it's just time to apply it. People who aren't prepared overreact when opportunity shows up. They get overwhelmed. They overthink. They make mistakes driven by fear. But when you're prepared, you don't need to force anything. You can stay composed. You can listen better. You can speak from experience. You don't need to sell yourself. You just need to be yourself. The version of you that's been doing the work. The ultimate goal is not to chase every opportunity. It's to build yourself into someone who's always ready when the right one appears. That way, you don't have to fake confidence. You've earned it. You don't have to pretend to be capable. You are. And you don't have to convince yourself you belong. You know you do. So get ready not for the applause but for the responsibility. Get ready not for the outcome but for the process. Build your strength now. Build your focus now. Build your habits now because the moment is coming. And when it does, you won't be shocked. You'll be steady. You'll be grounded. You'll be the one who moves through it with calm because you've been living like someone who expected it. That's how you shift from hoping to handling. That's how you move from fear to flow. That's how you get to a place where opportunity feels normal. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained your life to meet it with purpose. And that's where your life begins to change for real. Not through one big moment, but through every prepared step that brought you to